Hi guys, thanks for joining me. I just wanted to make a quick video concerning the Exodus and that we should be starting to prepare for the Exodus. Now, why would you prepare for the Exodus? Well, who should be preparing for Exodus? The Exodus will come after the first passing of the throne. The first passing happens, seal 6, bang, he hits us, flips the earth upside down, pole shift, and in that passing a great first of all, the saints of God are marked on their foreheads, 144,000 of his saints who will stay through the tribulation time, and their ascension will be part of the second passing of the throne. Which also is the ascension of the two witnesses after they've finished their 3.5 year prophecy, which is right at the very end of the tribulation time. But this first passing, you have them saints, 144,000 being chosen. So really the Exodus is for them to listen to prepare for a little bit. But the people who are not going to be really preparing for the Exodus are the great multitude of people which are caught up to God's throne during that first passing of the throne. Great multitude, because obviously they will be saved and they will not hunger no more, neither thirst, neither shall the sun light on them nor any heat, for the Lamb which is in the middle of the throne shall feed them and lead them to everlasting fountains of waters. So the great multitude of the first passing, seal 6, they don't have to prepare for the Exodus. But who will these people be? Well, all children under the age of accountability, so under the age of puberty. If you look at the Jewish custom, the child becomes an adult when they're around 12, 13. The natural body, a person becomes an adult really, physically around the same time where puberty starts. So all children under the age of 12, 13 are all not accountable for sin, and so they are blameless. So all them will be caught up to the throne during his passing. All the older people, not to be trying to be nasty or cruel, but saints around my age, 30s, maybe one's in their 20s, maybe one's in their 40s, but once you start getting on to retirement age, then that's the time where these people have it's time for them to rest, really, isn't it? I suppose, I don't know how to say it, but they're getting on in their days. So all the really young and all the really old are the people that are going to get caught up during that great multitude. And you'll probably people in danger areas that have repented of their sins, that have been forgiven of their sins and washed themselves in the blood of the Lamb for forgiveness of sin, caught up as well. But the 144,000 saints at least, and the two witnesses, are going to survive this passing, which by the way is an extinction level event. Every mountain and island will be removed from its place. It's going to be and then you've got the trumpet judgments on top of that. I don't want to go into them, but it's going to be an extinction level event. So this is exactly why you need to prepare. You don't want to be on the seashore when the the sea is sloshing because the earth has just been rolled round from midday in Jerusalem to midnight. And the full moon is seen like blood. You don't want to be near the sea when that happens. That's why, you know, I've made videos saying flee into the mountains, and, you know, talked about where is safe. But it would be nice if you just pack a few things. Cover, you know, some sort of cover, tarpaulin, tent, blanket, you know, some sort of cordage comes in handy, doesn't it? Some paracord, rope, string, whatever. Some basic tools like a cutting tool, maybe an axe, maybe a saw, something along them lines. Water, so you need something to carry water in. If you're that person that wants peace of mind, something to filter water with. But water is really important, so you want to take care of your water. Maybe have a thermo flask. What I have is a thermo flask and a cold flask to carry water. So just, you know, not to go stupid or nothing, but combustion, you might want to get yourself a fire steel, some way of starting fire. Fire steel can be used, you know, for a very long time. Obviously matches and lighters and stuff, they'll all run out. But, you know, one person may start the fire one night, another person may start the fire another night, you know. Things will last, and you develop the skills as you go, but just preparing for the Exodus and know that it's coming. Like, when is it coming then? Well, the sixth seal. So you'll have seal 1, the Antichrist is crowned and released. Seal 2, war outbreaks from Israel. Seal 3, the markets collapse. And after seal 2 and 3, the Dome of the Rock is going to be destroyed. Seal 4, the takedown of North America by North Korea, the ride on the pale horse. Alright, and then everyone's in anguish. Seal 5, crying to God, how long, O Lord? And he said, wait a little longer. And then seal 6, bang, he hits us, but he's going to hit us on a full moon. So that's how we know. Like in my last video, 40 days, 30 days, you can tell how long it's going to be. So we know exactly when it's going to be. And if anyone comes back and says, oh, no one knows the time or the hour, not even the angels, but only the Father only, that Jesus says, which he did around 35 AD. But come to 90 AD, the beginning of Revelation, it says the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to him. So something's happened after that, and that God gave him revelation, which reveals when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so everything's been revealed. Where can we go? You'd have to see one of my other videos, either Flee to the Mountains, or the last video I did about the destruction of the empires. Flee the East Coast, Appalachian Mountain. Flee the West Coast, Denver up there, somewhere high above. Don't be anywhere near the Mississippi River, so flee to one or the other. India, possibly flee to higher ground if you physically want to save this. You know, west coast of Australia, flee to the east, the high grounds are there, or the high grounds in New Zealand. Just somewhere high ground. North Wales, where I am right now, Conway, on the edge of the Snowdonia mountain range, is a perfect place. But anything east of this, I wouldn't recommend. High places of Scotland, ideal. You know, so that's where can we go? Exodus places which are high on good mountain ranges would be the best. And What can we take with us? We've been through that. Why are we doing it? Just to physically stand the destruction that's coming by the throne of God coming near, not because we're like scared or nothing, or we're not saved spiritually, because we have to be to have that guidance. It's because there's 144,000 people that are going to survive through the end time, so we physically have to survive. Just like the world government's going to run to their underground bunkers, they're going to take action. Yeah, to hide from this thing. But I believe in God, and I believe that He will make the way for people to be guided to physically take care of Himself, basically, and make the move. Make the move from England and whatever, come to Wales and stuff like that, or flee from the East Coast and Florida and go to the Appalachian Mountains with a tent on your back, even if it's just, think of it like Feast of Tabernacles. For 7 days you camp out. Just think of it as the camping thing, or marking it by the full moon. Don't wait for the Feast of Tabernacles to come in September, October. What I'm saying is use the full moon as like, well, when do we go? We go on a full moon. Which full moon? We don't know yet. We wait for the seals to happen, and then we know the full moon. Boom, that one there. "30 days away, 40 days away, whatever, but it won't be 10 days away. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a good bit of time, like 30 days. So, yeah, when, why, where are we going to go, how are we going to get there? You have to plan your route out. Do you have a car? Okay. Do you have enough fuel? Maybe get some fuel as a spare, just in case things. At that time, maybe you want to get a bit of fuel stocked up, just in case the garages stop pumping fuel. How are we going to get there? Well, it takes us, and here's another one, is like assessing how long it's going to take you. Like, it literally takes me 5 minutes to go from my home to my Exodus point, because God has planted me up here. But let's say if you lived over there, it's 6 miles here, it takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes by car. But what if you haven't got a car? How else would you get there? Let's say the worst case scenario, you had to walk. How long is it going to take me to walk from here to there? Well, a good few hours, 3-6 hours. So I wouldn't want to leave. I'd want to leave a day before, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So just being prepared that way. And, just having the stuff ready now is better than trying to fucking piss about later on. And, the shops have run out. Do you know what I mean? Get yourself a decent pair of boots. Get yourself a little tent or a cover or something, a blanket, all ready. Get yourself a little box with all the little bits in it that I've gone through before. Like even in a basic bag, stuff like that. Or just have a little clear out in your house and see, that bowl can be used, or that dish or that pan can be used. It's extra. Like, put it to a side. There's my couple of bottles for canteen and stuff like that. Or, if you want to store up food, that's up to you. I trust in God. If God rained bread from heaven for Moses, then He'll do the same for me. So I used to stock up food, but now, it's been 8 years since I've been born again. So even the flapjacks have gone out of date now. So I don't really look at it. But if you want to come along with a bag of rice on your back, then who am I to stop you? But you got to understand that one day it's going to run out. I mean, if everyone bought a bag of rice, then that'd keep you going. But like I said, I put my trust in God, and you've got to carry that shit with you, haven't you? Unless you stay put, it's up to you. I mean, people are gonna have to make decisions after the Exodus here and the first passing of the trumpet judgments. Might sit it out for 7 days, whatever, maybe a couple of weeks even. But then I want to start my missionary towards Israel, and that will be by foot. Obviously, it's going to take a while, either coming down through Europe or going across to Africa, and then all the way back and then to Israel, maybe. I don't know. God guided. That's only my personal belief. So anyway, I think we should start all preparing for Exodus, being prepared, you know, is even if nothing happens, let's say, people are like, oh, you know, you're worrying, whatever. You worry, mate, when you're there, when your shoes and your socks, and your under crackers, and the world's caving in, and the floor beneath you is melting. You know what I mean? So yeah, better to be prepared, and better to have some sort of idea on what you're going to do. Obviously, you can't rely on airlines. You've got to sort of think local, and then think, how long is it going to take? Because I know obviously America's a big place, India's a big place. There, people are going to take longer. Maybe as soon as it's shit hits the fan and the war outbreak, markets collapse, maybe you just want to go then. You know, there's no harm in that. That's even better. You know, go into your safe haven, because, you know, God may want to use you. I'm just saying that all the young people, all the innocent people, non-accountable, you know, they won't. Yeah, all the really young people, infants below the age of maturity of, you know, the body becoming an adult, or the Jewish custom of you know, bar mitzvah, becoming an adult, 13, 12, 13. Interestingly enough, what's just something to add quickly is when the Antichrist became the age of accountability, they chipped him straight away. Almost like you'll never be saved, you'll always be condemned. As soon as he became the age of accountability, 12 years old, he was chipped with a microchip, Prince William. So he's always been, as soon as he was accountable, he was condemned just by that implant. So yeah, all the young people, all the old people, but, you know, I'm not saying that all the old people are going to go to heaven because they're going to struggle or whatever, you know. It might be that some older pastors may stay and be used by God. So then people will have it in their spirit, though, they'll have to physically move. Do you know what I mean? They'll have to physically do something. You know, faith, all right, it's nice. It's you have to have faith, but then you have to go and work. You have to works equals grace. You know, faith equals your works, and then it equals your result is your grace. So to have the grace of Lord Jesus Christ, you have to do what he did and have the faith in him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you've got to listen to the Spirit. And if the Spirit says, yeah, I'm going to serve God through the end of the age, good. Now recognise that it's going to be an extinction level event and you're going to survive. So you're going to have to make provisions. You're going to have to find a safe place. If you don't know, contact me direct and I'll tell you where I'd go to. But the ones that are not having this in the Spirit, they just say, I just want rapture, I just want out of here. Well, good. Get out of here, because you won't be any good for the end of the age. Because I was just thinking about this and how's God going to work it, but at the end of the day, God gives the Spirit to the person who's going to live through the end of the age to understand the things of the end of the age. He doesn't give the Spirit to someone who's going to be part of the great multitude, which happens very early on. He's not going to give them the Spirit of enduring these things at the end of the age. They just want rapture and get out of here. Well, good. Make them happy, boom, off you go, see you later. You weren't any good to us in the end of the age anyway, to, you know, help the saints out because you didn't want to in your heart. Well, there you go. If you look at people, it's already set. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, God bless you all, and yeah, I know in your heart you already know what you're going to be doing for the end of the age, and don't try and be a hero and whatever. You know, if you're going to find it hard to exodus across countries, to many kings and nations and religions, if you have that little fear in your heart even, then, you know, just don't fight it. Pray God that you be part of the great multitude that goes at the first rapture, you know. Anyway, God bless you all for watching. Amen.